Do you work on old engines with stubborn dowel pins? Are you tired of fumbling with the incorrect tools? Using the wrong tools can cause damage to your engine and even be dangerous. Mike Sabo here with another tech tip, and I'm going to show you how to remove those stubborn dowel pins with ease. Alright guys, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Now, I was getting these cases all prepared for DBC Racing to get them vapor blasted, and I had a couple stubborn dowel pins that were, a huge pain in the ass. Well, they used to be anyway before I learned this trick. So I figured I would show you guys a little trick that I learned that makes them really easy to remove no matter how stubborn they are. So to get this job done, we just need some very basic tools. I'm going to have all those tools linked in the description below. But before we even do that, let me explain exactly what a dowel pin is. All right, now these are the two case halves for a 1987 TRX 250R. If you guys are new to the channel, we're building a motocross squad right now. Definitely hit that subscribe button and follow the channel if you're interested in a build series like that. But anyways, any motor case is going to have dowel pins, most likely. It's pretty critical to keeping the motor cases aligned. So here's one right here that I've already got removed. Essentially, there's dedicated areas in the case. You can see where the regular bolts go. They're smaller holes and they're threaded. Then there's these larger holes right here, and that's where the dowels go. And it's going to be pretty much the same setup on any motor. And these dowels are going to be the exact same size as the inner diameter of these holes. Sometimes they need to be pressed in, and that's why these can be a serious pain in the ass to get out, because they can be pressed in. Sometimes they get corroded, cruddy, oxidized, and they get seized in there, and you just can't get them out. Now this one here, obviously I have not removed yet because we're gonna remove this one. That's the one I'm going to show you how to do it. And you can see there's gasket material around here. What I was doing is cleaning all this gasket area, and I mean, it's a real pain in the ass to clean gasket material in the first place, but doing it with the dowel pins makes it a lot more difficult. So I'm not going to push these cases together, but you can see that dowel pin is going to keep everything lined up, especially once you have your transmission and everything in there. The dowel pins actually make it really easy when you're putting an engine back together. And you might be saying, well, I don't really need my dowel pins because all the bolts are going to hold everything in place and line everything up. And that's not necessarily true. While some engines do have really good tolerances, you can actually mount things slightly crooked if you don't have the dowel pins in there, and that's going to cause catastrophic engine failure. And that's definitely something that you don't want. So dowel pins are definitely important. Now the tools that we have for this job are pretty basic. We don't even need everything here. The main things that we're going to need are the drill index and the pair of vice grips, but we also have a set of regular pliers and a set of needle nose. We might be able to get away with using those, and of course a Rain Energy, preferably Peach Fizz. All right, now all of those tools will be linked in the description below. So here is our case half that still has some dowels left in it, and this is the stubborn dowel pin right here. Some people call these things alignment pins too. But basically, you would normally take either a pair of needle nose or a regular pair of pliers, you would think anyway, and you would grip on there and try to get it out. And you can see this is pretty stubborn. Now, if you squeeze super tight, you're going to collapse this thing. It's going to be ruined. And not only that, you might not get it out because it's getting collapsed. It's bad news. So you might have taken a pair of needle nose and got them in here and tried to get it out. And this one's really stubborn. Sometimes you really don't need any of these things and they'll just pull right out. But it's just not the case with this one. Like a regular pair of needle nose, you just yank that thing right out. So what we're going to be doing here is essentially filling in the center so that we can squeeze really tight with the vice grips. And we'll be able to twist this thing right out. So inside our drill index here, you've essentially got infinite amounts of circumferences to fit inside here. Now I've already removed the drill bits that I need so that I don't have to go through this. I've got them right here. We have two dowels that we're going to do today, but this one right here, you can see fits in there perfectly. So when you put that in there and you do the side that's smooth, not the side with the flutes, fits in there. It doesn't have to be drill bits. If you have something else that fits in there, that's going to do the job as well. But drill bits are just so easy, and you don't need quality drill bits to do this job. You can get a really cheap set of drill bits and use them primarily for this task, and it's going to do the job just as well as any expensive drill bit would do. All right, now with the drill bit in there, we're going to take a pair of vice grips. This is just a regular cheapy pair of vice grips, nothing crazy. We're going to adjust this thing accordingly. Get it on there. You don't want to go too close to the cases because you can score up the engine cases because we're going to be twisting this. And now just twist this thing loose, and there, I can see it twisting already. We'll just twist it out. Wow, that thing was really in there. We would have never gotten this out without this method. So now we'll release our vice grip. Let's see what this thing looks like. So our dowel is still good. Now, if you did destroy the dowel pin, it's no big deal. Like I said, these things can be replaced very cheap. This one would probably still work fine, but I'm making an order for some OEM parts, so I'll probably just replace these. All right, well, I'll have you guys here. We might as well get this one out on the other side. And I'm sure you guys saw that case was moving around quite a bit. Now, this is a nice smooth wood bench, so that's probably not going to cause any damage, but it's probably a good idea to put something soft down on the other side so that you don't damage your case or score up the surfaces. So this one's a little bit smaller. Got a drill bit that's going to fit in there perfectly. So you can see this one got a little bit of damage on there. If you really wanted, you could smooth these out and reuse them. If you're really strapped for time or cash, or if it's some kind of piece that you can't get a hold of. But I would definitely recommend replacing the dowels. All right, guys, so hopefully this helps you out the next time that you're rebuilding a motor of your own. Now, I can't take full credit for this. Just like a lot of the tips and tricks that I share with you guys, I learned this from a subscriber. This actually came from Blake from DBC Racing, who's a huge sponsor of the channel. And we're actually gonna finish up cleaning these cases, and we're gonna be sending these out to DBC Racing to get them vapor blasted. Now, if you're not familiar with vapor blasting, once these things are done, they're gonna look like they just came out of the casting machine back in 1987. So these are cases from 1987, and I'm telling you what, if you're interested to see what they look like, definitely follow the build series, because I'm gonna do a before and after of what they look like now compared to what they look like after vapor blasting. Now, if you're too impatient and you want to send out your engine cases right now, you can hit up dbcracing.com, or you can check them out on Instagram at dbc_racing, and they'll get you hooked up. I'll show you right here a set of Banshee cases that they did for me. They came out absolutely phenomenal. Now, you didn't think I'd end this video before giving you an update on Project 250R. Hell no. Oh yeah. Check this stuff out. Give you guys a sneaky peeky. So the rest of the ESR stuff came. Oh yeah. So our TRX5 pipe came from ESR Racing. I figured I'd give you guys some eye candy before I end this video, but we will go more in depth on this on Friday. Got a billet brake pedal, an outerwear for our air filter, and of course some exhaust springs. So as you guys may have seen in some of my Instagram posts and in my previous videos, we are going to be running an LED exhaust as well. So it's going to be really cool to do a side-by-side comparison with the ESR and the LED. I'm getting super excited, guys. I will see you on Friday. Thank you for watching this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. Don't forget to check out your Mike Sabo merch. All the sales go to supporting the channel. I appreciate all you guys. Peace out, and I'll see you on Friday.